Jonathan, if you would try experiments, the Apple Macs have got a built-in dictation system, which I understand is fairly easily accessible, and I have to say it's pretty good in practice for dictating email. So I find it quite effective for sitting back and dictating a stream of consciousness, which is what my emails tend to be, and the accuracy is pretty high. And I suspect if you're a bit more careful with it and spoke a little slower and a little more clearly, it'd be really very reliable. But it certainly gets probably 97, 98% for the remains of my Yorkshire accent. It seems to work okay.
I had an interesting discovery. I recorded something for YouTube for the first time for the tech conference last year, and it's sort of semi-scripted. I wrote notes about what I wanted to say, and then I read the notes to camera. And then the thing went up to YouTube, and YouTube transcribed it. And I was surprised at how good a job it made. And I think that was because of the nature of the speaking I was doing. So speaking carefully can be quite helpful. I saw something called MathPix. This came out of a conversation on the blind mailing list, and I sent it some handwritten mathematics of mine, which is pretty scrawly. And one bit it got completely right, it wasn't that difficult, and the other bit was at quite a slant because the way I just sort of not on lines, and it made a big mess of it. But I rather think that if there is a good adaptive technology, it will end up training the user a bit. So if the user learns how to write to meet the needs of the optical character recognition. So I think there are really interesting possibilities there.
I think
coming towards, yes, Shubhai?
So I would identify the challenge at getting LaTeX to good HTML, because HTML today has very good resources for disability access, from websites, management systems to text, outputs, readers. The problem I feel is that we don't have good LaTeX to HTML. And should we reinvent the wheel there with all the work that has been done to make websites accessible, or should we try to just get LaTeX output to HTML is a question to think about.
I think that's a conversion problem, and rather than a beginner's problem. And I like to do conversion problems on the third Thursday of the month. I mean, that way we get to focus on beginners at least once a month. We get to accessibility at least once a month, and so forth. So everybody gets a chance to bat.